Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a 14 and a half hour readathon. Now it is 9:29 a.m. in the morning, and I thought that I would start with the rest of the day readathon because today is the end of March and I need to finish at least 3 books that I started at the beginning of the month, especially because of Women's History Month, but I had exams going on, so I didn't really get to the end of all of those books. So the first book that I'm going to be reading in the morning is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I'll get it from my shelf for you, which is A Room of One's Own. I'm on page 86, so only 13 pages, 13, 14, 15 pages left in this book, and I hope to finish it this morning. So, A Room of One's Own. Yeah, I think it could have had a better front cover, but this will have to do for now. I'm enjoying it currently. A woman must have money and room of her own if she is to write fiction. You can probably tell from my eye that I have one small eye and one large because I just woke up, so my breakfast is also ready, so I should probably have my breakfast first and then talk about books early in the morning. So I will show you my breakfast, no problem. It's muesli and dates, banana. I will see you when I finish my breakfast and when I finish my first book, and I will come back with the review of the first book. Back with the review of A Room of One's Own. Book of One's Own. That should be a title of a book. Alright. What I love about this book is it is still relevant to this day, and I will read you some of it, some part of it. But the sight of the two people getting into the taxi and the satisfaction it gave me made me also ask whether there are two sexes in the mind corresponding to the two sexes in the body, and whether they also require to be united in order to get complete satisfaction and happiness. And I went on amateurishly to sketch a plan of the soul so that in each of us two powers preside, one male, one female, and in the man's brain the man predominates over the woman, and in the woman's brain the woman predominates over the man. The normal and comfortable state of being is that when the two live in harmony together, spiritually cooperating. If one is a man, still the woman part of his brain must have effect, and a woman also must have intercourse with the man in her. Coleridge perhaps meant this when he said that a great mind is androgynous. It is when this fusion takes place that the mind is fully fertilized. It is when this fusion takes place that the mind is fully fertilized and uses all its faculties. Perhaps a mind that is purely masculine cannot create any more than a mind that is purely feminine, I thought. This whole para is very long, but it's really interesting. And same goes with this para as well. It is, however, dishonoring to us as a nation, certain that, by some fault in our commonwealth, the poor poet has not in these days, nor has had for 200 years, a dog's chance. Believe me, and I have spent a great part of 10 years in watching some 320 elementary schools. We may prate of democracy, but actually a poor child in England has little more hope than had the son of an Athenian slave to be emancipated into that intellectual freedom of which great writings are born. The Art of Writing by Sir Arthur Quiller Couch. I still have 6 more pages to go in this book, but this book reads like this. It's like a study on literature and study on women and men in literature and study on poets and poems in general. And there's a part about Shakespeare, and if Shakespeare had a sister, what would have happened with her. And it's truly shocking, yet the most truthful thing you will ever learn in literature. So I find it really fascinating. I still have a little more to go for this book to end, but I still think that this should be the end of the first review, and I'll tell you the next book that I'm going to be reading as well, because I have to study for a bit before I go into the next video. I'll show you what I'll study as well. The next book I'm going to be completing is Kiki's Delivery Service by Eiko Kadono. I have 2 chapters left, and I'm thoroughly enjoying Kiki's Delivery Service. I have also started watching the film as well, the Studio Ghibli film, which is also brilliant. It is a bit different from the book, but it ought to be, because it is different form of art media, so I expected them to be different in the first place. So I'm currently enjoying the book, the movie, and I have to study a bit first before I continue. So I will see you when I have finished with my studies and when I'm reading the second book on today's list. I will read it in the afternoon probably. So I'll be back with Kiki's Delivery Service review. Hello everyone, please ignore my bandit. My new spectacles are bothering my nose, that's why I'm wearing a bandit. Currently I'm at the last chapter of Kiki's Delivery Service, where Kiki comes back home after a year in a foreign town, like in a town which is not her own, and she's only 13 when she ventures on this adventure, and she's a witch, and that's what witches are supposed to do, and they need to find a job of their own, and they're supposed to make a living with that job, and with very little to no savings at all, she managed a year. And the last chapter is Kiki visits home, and I've not read it yet, but I hope that's when she visits her home, her parents. So I'm excited to read it, and it has been a series of adventures which I feel like I am 10 years older than Kiki, but I still can't comprehend how I can move away from home and have a job of my own with very little to no savings at all. I find it all very hard to do even now, but the circumstances are different. I don't know how to fly on a broom. If I did, things would probably be different. It's just a metaphor of life and such, you know. She had one skill, she knew how to fly and she utilized it. I hope that I can utilize my only one skill, um, which is studies. I don't know what else I can consider a skill, but hopefully I will see you when I read the next and last book of the day in the evening when I read it. And that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I have very little left in that book as well, so now I'm going to finish this book, and I will see you when I'm on the verge of finishing the next and final book of today's readathon. Thank you so much for watching. I have recently finished reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. It is the first book of the series, which I enjoyed quite literally, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up the second book anytime soon. I give it 4 stars. This is probably the first fantasy series that I have ever read. I have not read Lord of the Rings. I would probably read Lord of the Rings before I read any other fantasy books. So, if you liked my reading vlogs and reading updates in a day, it's like 8:58 p.m. so it's like 12-hour reading vlog almost. I enjoyed making it in a day, but if you liked watching it, I will make more of these kinds of videos. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a like and share and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video very soon, and I hope you are taking good care of yourself. Now I will go to bed. Good night.